Please pay attention. Thank you. I'm glad that we will have 2 lectures, for which the first lecture is for today and second one a few weeks from now, according to the schedule. My name is Dr. Noori Dalui. Noori Dalui. Muhammad Rizal. Noori Dalui. That's okay. My voice is not that much strong, especially today, because I have a little, what do you call it? Yeah, I'm in a very good healthy situation today, but I'm fine. So please listen to get some useful information from this class. Before I start the first lecture, the first slide, and introduce the topic of today's lecture, I would like to tell you about these 2 lectures for your exam. I will select some of these slides from today's lecture and the other one. That was the reason I told you you don't need to get the whole slides, because you may get confused. And I'll make copy of this slide on paper with some English short information from the book written by Emery, Medical Genetics of Emery, 2017. So it will be new information. The most recent book from Emery is 2017, means just this month. I will translate this book in Farsi, but it would not be helpful for you. Therefore, I will give you some pages of that for both lectures, okay? So you may get around 20 for the both 2 lecture pages for your exam. So don't worry, just listen, and if you want to write some notes for yourself, please do that. This lecture, the title of this lecture is Genetic Engineering and its Application. The mode of genetic inheritance is the second topic, which I will teach you hopefully in a few weeks from now, according to the schedule. So today, we concentrate on genetic engineering and its application or main applications in medicine. Before I go to show you some more slides, I would like to spend a few minutes and tell you some hopefully useful information regarding the history of this technology, which is very, very, very important. If you don't mind, I would like to tell you in very brief the most finding or discovery which was happened during the birth of genetics in general and medical genetics especially. Okay? it was started with Mendelian law back in 1865. In 1865, the Mendelian genetics was born by this great scientist. This is, now we are living in 2018. It's more than 150 years from the birth of medical Mendelian genetics. Okay? But still, we use it, we apply it in genetic counseling, for example, and many other areas of medical genetics, as well as plant genetics. It means it was probably the biggest discovery in genetics. Believe it, because we have to come to our topic. Hundreds and hundreds of discovery after that what happened, but I'll give you the most important of this discovery, which is four in my idea, and this was the first one. The second, we are in 1953, the time that double-stranded structure of double-stranded DNA was discovered by Watson and Crick, James Watson and Francis Crick. I don't want to inform you that I was a student of Professor Watson in the United States during my PhD studies. So Watson is alive at the time being, at the age of 100, 98, 97, but Crick was dead in about 10 years ago. Francis Crick and James Watson, two very, very famous scientists, was discovered the double stranded of the DNA. This was very, very important, and back in after a few years, 1987, these two guys get Nobel Prize, as you well know, for their discovery. Many questions was answered by this discovery. If this discovery was not happened, nobody knows, for example, how DNA replication is occurred, how transcription is occurred, and afterward, many things that we know about translation, means making the proteins, was opened by the foundation of this discovery. So this was very, very, very important. Indeed, by their discovery, the molecular genetics was born. Molecular genetics by their discovery, because they were not dealing with the chromosomes, but with the gene, with the DNA, with the bases, 4 different bases, adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, which makes the sequence of each gene in a special manner, in a special pattern for each specific gene. And the third, to me, the third is the most famous and most spread one, and that was about 1973, the discovery of genetic engineering, which is the topic of today. Genetic engineering. Or this one, certainly I have to spend more time. So we we go ahead and I will back in a few minutes to this one, which is our topic. And the fourth one was happened during the year 1990. A few very, very important things or discovery was happened during this year. One of them was the birth of gene therapy in human beings. Not in theory, in fact, in the hospital. The birth of gene therapy. Unfortunately, I don't have a lecture to give to you, so the other colleagues may give you some information about the gene therapy. As well as in this year, in addition to gene therapy, the other things which is very, very, very important, what happened is the initiation of international human genetics project. The biggest project in the whole biology in the history of the mankind. And what I mentioned? The biggest and the most important project during the lifetime of the man in biology and especially in genetics. It's very, very, very important, this project. It was started, for example, in this project, listen to me please, by Organization of the United States, especially man like Watson, it was coordinated by Watson and a few other, the most famous scientists in the molecular genetics, which are living generally in the United States or the UK. But it was suggested by Watson and his colleague to the President of the United States in that time. They accepted, and for initiation of this project, United States of America, the government paid $3 billion for the initiation of this project. $3 billion. And there was 3 main centers for this project, because this project is totally related to all topics. That's the reason that I am spending a few minutes and explaining to you. Because if the genetic engineering was not happened, okay, if the double stranded DNA was not discovered, nobody was able to initiate this huge, useful project. And these are dealing with genes, these are dealing with DNA, these are dealing with the basis of the gene. So we have to talk about it. It is somehow very related to our subject, or today's subject. So they made 3 main, let's call it office or area, one in the United States, one in the other in UK, London, and the third one is in Japan. These are the main model